Welcome to Kitchen Table Conversations. This is episode number 3. I'm so happy that you guys joined us today. We're going to have an interesting topic today. Let me mention, my name is Dr. Janetta Edwards. Let me put that in there. I worked hard for that. Let me remember. So, the episode today is going to be talking about the journey of parenting your child's greatness. Now, I have 2 great women with me who have children and grandchildren, and they have an idea of what it is to raise children who have greatness. We have Dr. Deborah Claire, who I've known for a very long time. Over 20 some years.
Yeah, it'll be 28.
Wow. And then Miss Beatrice Hardy,
Hi,
who we've known each other for a very long time as well.
2003.
Man, these like sisters, right. We done been up, down, bad, round. We done raised kids together. We done cried about them together.
All that.
But today we want to talk about raising them into their greatness. Now, the theme will be seeing, naming, nurturing potential without pressure. How do we as parents recognize and raise greatness in our children without crushing them under the weight of raising them for greatness?
Wow, that's a heavy question. And it's like it sums up the entire story of raising children. So how do we do that without
telling the whole story?
Okay. Man, raising greatness. Well, first of all, as a parent, you must know who you are. And sometimes that is not given. That is just something that you do. You just born. You live your life. Oops, I have a baby. Oops, I'm a wife. And then now you tell me I have to guide this person, which I'm still learning how to guide myself. And so therefore, you have a tendency to, you have to use what you have, whatever that is. And so what I had at the time was just how my mom reared me.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from the South in Florida. And the origin is actually Georgia, a little small henpeck town called Waycross, Georgia. And so that's a total different rearing because it brings you all the way back to where you began. Slavery. My family was part of the cotton field population. So therefore, I was raised by those mannerisms of how you survive in that type of environment and raise your children in a positive way to be successful. So having a mom that only had an 8th grade graduation, I mean, not even a graduation, 8th grade education, her goal for her children was get your high school diploma, make something out of yourself. Then we came with the morals and the values, okay? And so without going deep into it, those from my generation understand when the street lights come on.
What do?
Get in the house.
Or you better be in front of the house.
Yeah, well, it all depends. Because if you're on punishment,
your boy wasn't supposed to be up there no way.
Okay, well, we're not talking about that right
Okay, so let's get back to the greatness. So in raising your children, do you think some of the techniques or the lessons you learned from your mom help you get to that place of greatness without crushing them?
Yes, it was a learning experience though, because you have to take one of the proverbs, slang proverbs. You have to take the meat from the bone. Okay, so mom she set the platform of morals and values and respect your elders and treat people like you want to be treated and the importance of getting your education and you want to have more, you want to do better. Okay. So she set the platform from which she came from.
And so you took that.
I took that and I built off of that. And so I'm the one that traveled. I was, when I reached the age of 17, it was like, okay, I learned enough about Florida, and this is all we learning between Florida and Georgia. I want to know what those other people are doing. And so I became a veteran, just watching the commercial, be all that you can be in the Army. When they told me they're going to feed me, they was going to give me a place to stay, and I get a chance to travel all over the world and stuff. I was like, yep, that's where I need to be. And so
Did you
from
have kids
that,
at that time?
no, at that
Yes.
time, not yet. It was
Okay.
coming.
So, but let's kind of move
Move
it
back.
forward, so we can get to the part where you answer this question about in raising your children without crushing them, of trying to be all that you could be in raising them.
And so when I got to that point, after learning all those things, I realized that I was their model.
Mm-hmm.
And being their model, meaning that as I got things in order with my mental self of what that should look like, I began to walk them through that. So it was the tools that my mom gave me on how I walk them step by step by just basic everyday lifestyle skills you need to enter into being successful. And that's waking up on time. Can you wake up on time? Being responsible, doing your homework, are you disciplined to focus on that? So I had rules.
So, in each stage of their life, sounds like you taught them how to be built on the next stage.
Exactly.
And then they get to the place of becoming teenagers and freak out, and then you don't like them no more.
That was the challenge.
So that's the challenge.
Yeah.
So then getting them from that to being who they are today. So tell me, tell the audience, how many children did you birth?
I birthed three. Two
And-
girls and one boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost my son in 2014.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the two girls.
Yes.
Okay. And what are your girls doing with themselves?
The oldest, she's actually assistant manager at a eye company. I'll put it that way. The youngest, she took after me, the entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Never worked a job in her life. She's an entrepreneur, and she has really perfected the technology, the computer technology, and all those things. So she works for herself. Before my son passed, he was the president of NAACP.
Okay.
In college, he represented the that chapter there, as well as he created his own fraternity, and he was the vice president of his fraternity.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Moving from raising your children for greatness. Now, I have a thought on my thought with the crushing part, but getting them to that point is not an easy task.
No, it's not.
Would you say that it was crushing for you as well?
Well, so I'm gonna take it a little bit back. I'm gonna go back to like where the conversation first started, right? So I was really young when I had my children, but I remember telling my mother that I wanted her to be. I was like, "Mom, I want them to call you mom." She was like, they're your children. And that right there kind of clicked, and it was like, okay, so now I got these kids and they got to call me mama. What I'm gonna do, right? And I just think back to just how, a lot of times I didn't know what to do. So it was good that I had my mom there to kind of walk me through some of the things. Okay, you don't say this, you say this. You don't do that, you do that.
Yeah.
But I also knew that I was giving up my life for them, right? Like I stopped really when I had Kelly, who's my oldest. So I have two girls and a boy. When I had Kelly, I was like, enough is enough. Like this is no longer about me. And so my life, I didn't get to know who I was. I had to learn now who this little person was. So learning who she was, figuring out who she was going to be, because what I did know is that I knew that I was okay, but I wanted her to be 100% bigger,
Even better.
than what I was.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the crushing had started at an early age.
Yes.
Because I always told her that I want you to be 100. I said, I'm a bomb woman, but I need for you to be 110%
More of a bomb
than what I
Must
am.
have to go
Right? And I
before
said,
me.
and I aspire to be more, because I thought my mama was all of
that and a bag of chips.
Gravy,
Yep.
Kool-Aid. I thought she was the whole full
Yeah.
platter.
Yep.
And so what I wanted for Kelly especially because she was my first, and because I really thought she was gonna be my own one, but that's all different.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted for her was to just be much more than I
Yes.
was. So
Yes.
what I did was I went to college,
Mhm.
right? I had her. I was pregnant with her when I went into
Yep.
college. You know, greatness crushing number one.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a job, right? Like I was doing television production,
Yes.
right? I was like, I'm gonna be out here in these streets. You need to be out
Yeah,
here with me. Every place, everything I did, like you gotta
You
do.
must
Like
go.
I could not go. I didn't go any place that she couldn't go.
Yes.
That's what's me.
Right. So I took her everywhere. Question number two, right? Because she was around. Because what I decided to do too was surround myself by people who was bigger and better than I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was where it was like, okay, you see, I'm hanging around these people.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
need to be around like your
Yeah,
daddy.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
That's doing something with
I
their
really-
life.
Right. So I really brought to her that like the pressure, even when she was 5, 6, 7, 8, when we got into school. Okay, what we doing today? How we doing today? Gonna be a good day?
Mhm.
Let's go. And then I met my husband. Right, had my second child was Michael, who is 28, 27, 28. One of those. He up in there somewhere.
Yes, he's there somewhere.
Right here, I'm in there somewhere.
Okay.
Then I met Janetta.
Okay.
Right, and I was like, man, she got 3 kids. She got a blended family. Now I see somebody, right, and she was
See
working
that
for
model.
her. She was a model. So I saw my mom, but my mom wasn't married. She was married to my stepfather, but we was always in a place where we were fighting, and
Yeah.
it was always something with
Some
him.
kind of
He
chaos.
wouldn't give us a ride to school and all that stuff. So it's like we're not gonna do what he doing.
Right,
We're gonna
right,
be
right,
baby.
right.
But then I met Janetta, and I was like, man, life can be different. And so really looking up to having I call Janetta my life mentor, right? So having somebody that's a life mentor. Do you remember the day I called you like, I need a mentor?
I was like, what that mean?
Right.
My very first mentee.
Exactly. And so I really called on her to show me what it was like to be a wife, right? And and then from that, seeing her pour and pull on her children, I was like, well, maybe I need to be telling my kids this. So crushing, right? So that greatness being built, but not on top, not just from me, but from the valley or the village that I was building from them, right? So whenever I would bring them around people, I would really let go of my reins. My kids are village children. They were raised by the village, for real. Especially that youngest one. And that one there, she was really raised by the village, and I can see it in the way she moves and act. You said your youngest was an entrepreneur. She is, right? So when the time she had her job, she was like, Mom, I'm quitting. I was like, well, who's gonna pay
for your
Bills.
right? So crushing that greatness, bringing it out of them in little ways. So like, if I didn't have an answer for something, I would call Janetta, or I would call somebody else in the village who I said, listen, I don't know how to get to that, but I know somebody who do, and I made sure I call myself the ultimate like connector and resource.
Yes.
Because I know I made
Love
sure
that today.
one is my job to be able to connect and meet people. And so when I would go into these rooms and I felt small in these rooms, I would go home and say, you will not feel like I just felt today.
Yep.
When I was a substitute teacher, I remember going to, I was a 2nd and 4th grade substitute teacher, just in between jobs, right, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I remember those kids acting like crazy. And I was like, I would go home and I was like, y'all will not be like that today.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Great.
You will not do this to your teachers. You will not be this way. And they be like, Mom, what? And I had to remember too, I had to pull myself away from those things because that's not who I was raising. I am raising them to be 1,000%. And I said 100 earlier, right? So I'm raising them to be 1,000% more than what I am in this moment. So I think that's where the crushing, it started very early.
Yes.
And it started because where I felt little in places, I wanted them to feel great in those places.
Yep.
Yes.
And like I said, I see it more so in Claire, which is the 3rd baby, than I see it in Michael and Kelly, the older 2. I see a little bit in Michael, but I see it more so in Claire. Kelly was the first, so I learned a lot with her. She was like I used to say she was my baby doll, so I learned how to braid hair on her. I learned how to, not be a friend, but a mother to her. I learned how to change diapers on her, right? I learned a lot of that stuff with Kelly. So so she got the brunt of me becoming
Okay.
You.
me,
Uh-huh.
right? She got the brunt of me learning who I was. And I probably still didn't learn who I was until about 8 years ago.
Wow.
Ah, wow.
Wow. You know, Deborah, you made me think of the crushing moments of. I was speaking of the surface, but I had to do it with no family around. My husband was deceased, and so being in Chicago with no family, no resources, I had to grow up, and so I was teaching them as I was going, such as you were saying with your children and stuff, you know, and that is what how I had to thrive them. I had to teach them to be strong because we did not have extra.
Right.
Okay, we couldn't run to auntie. I couldn't run to anyone. They didn't have cousins and everything to run to. So I had to give them that trust to walk the earth and navigate through it with the morals and values that I taught them, and have them to trust themselves and me trust them to make the right decisions, because I always taught them, and if something happened to me,
Yeah.
What you gonna
what
do?
would you do?
What
So
you
I
gonna
had
do?
to. I was like the birds.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to fly. I
Kick
really
them
had to kick
You
them
gotta
out
need a nest.
in order for them to be who they are
Yes.
today. And
Yes.
that was the hardest decisions.
Which is a good segue to how do you, after. So I like what both of you said as far as the crushing and where it comes from. And would you both agree that the crushing is just as crushing for you as it is for them?
Absolutely.
Would you say that your crushing has made their crushing even more monumental?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think about when you said a blended family. And that's so we shifting just a little bit, but I'm gonna bring y'all back in.
Oh, that's
Don't wanna
okay.
get in trouble.
So
Come on back
so
around.
when it comes to a blended family and things looking and appearing what society says is good, right? Not knowing people are watching you or paying you any attention, and having a blended family. And it was a time when Beatrice came into my life that my daughter and the household just was.
I can recall.
And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I gonna do? And I met B. She says, baby, you need to walk your grown daughter out the door,
Go bye.
or she going to destroy your marriage. And you going to be alone. Ain't nobody going to rub your feet.
Nope.
Ah,
You be sitting there scratching and lotioning your
that
feet
was
by
good.
yourself,
I said,
Good.
watching a TV with some
what about that?
a glass of wine.
That's
I said,
good.
wait a minute. I said, how did, she said, I had to walk my daughter out the house. I said, you did, like you say, how you do that?
Show me how.
How you get that stuff out your
I
house?
had to
Janetta,
get her
come
out.
on
She
back,
had to go.
because thinking about that, then you poured into Janetta, and then she poured
I
into
put it in your because
See?
Oh wow!
that crushing.
that crushing, so
it just
It's
flows.
it flows, and so it's purposeful because you understood the crushing. You need the crush to get your daughter out.
Exactly.
You said, "Come here, little girl. Let me tell you something." I said, "Ooh, good.
But
I didn't know that."
you
And
know you
then
can do
You
it.
see, you can do that.
really do it.
You can really.
You can
And she
walk
18. I said, she got to go. Let me
But-
figure out.
but-
And then you came to me with the same question. I went to her with and said, girl, let me tell you what you do.
So I think that this also helped me to understand my mother a little bit better.
Yes,
Right? Like
yes.
it came back around like,
Yeah. Oh, that's what she was
so
talking
I
about.
need to get out of
Her
her way
way.
Yes.
so that I can live my life, and so she can. And I had to tell my sisters that, like, right, like all it came full circle.
Yep.
Because I definitely remember going to, like, my mom, like, how am I supposed to feel when? And then I would go to Janetta, and Janetta was like, listen.
That's all she could say. What you don't want is
Let me tell you, right? So it was really
Yes.
full circle. But like I said, going back to like the way my mother, because she didn't have her mom. Her mom died when she was 16, right? So she died when she was a little bit older, but not having her to be able to pour up until, like, my mom is still with me today.
Exactly.
Right? So having that, being able to pour into me, but also again turn back into the crushing that
Exactly.
happens for me.
Okay.
You know, and it made it a little bit more challenging because now I'm like, okay, now I got to get my stuff together to be able to say,
Thank you.
You got you
Yeah.
got to get your stuff
You gotta
together.
check.
You cannot just go to them and say, okay, I need you out.
You're right. You got to make sure
Without
that when
having-
you walk them
walking
out
them, you-
a right way.
Thank you.
Right.
And they have to know that they're still loved,
yeah,
even though they feel hurt,
Mhm.
but they don't know how much is hurtful this way.
right, exactly.
Because if something happened to me today, I already know you're gonna fall because I have not lifted you yet.
I
right.
haven't gave you what
I haven't
you
gave
need.
you what
I
you
haven't given
need,
you
and I
the
know
real
you want to do
sustenance.
your thing. I know you want to hang out and all of that, and it's okay.
Yeah,
But it's the way you do things.
yeah.
So let me ask y'all this. What are the challenges faced by gifted black and brown children?
Mm.
Having lack of access,
Mm.
mislabeling in schools, and the emotional stress
Read the
that they
question
come
one more
up.
time.
Okay. What are the challenges faced by gifted black and brown children?
Let me tell you right now, they're hungry.
What they hungry for?
They're hungry, one, in a literal
Oh,
sense, right?
one-
They're hungry because a lot of these kids out here are not eating, for real, sustenance.
Real. Okay.
Right? For real food. I'm talking about give them a hot dog, you'll see a big difference. Number one, right? I was just talking about this with somebody else. And then if you go figuratively, how you say that word?
Figuratively.
Whatever you want to say. I'm not going to make up stuff. Okay? Right. So I think the other thing is they're hungry for, you said it, love.
Mhm.
They're hungry for community. They're hungry for the village. A lot of these kids don't have the structure that we often
Take
say
for granted.
that we take for granted,
Mhm.
right? Like I am somebody who needs the structure, but I'm also a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl, right?
Yes.
Within, give me
Parameters.
give me parameters, and then I can let me move within those parameters, and then let me bucket a little bit.
Yeah.
Give me room to bucket.
Mm-hmm.
These kids don't have that. So they're hungry for that.
Mm-hmm.
They're hungry for education. I was with a group of teens last night and I was looking at them and they were having a conversation about the government shutdown.
Mm.
Hungry for knowledge, right? Because they don't know, because what they're being taught about, Christopher Columbus, right?
We don't
Oh,
need-
that's a
They're being-
whole
Now
you're
nother
talking
conversation.
So they're
Yeah.
they're hungry for a lot of different things, and I think that that's what, going back to your question, I think that that's what they need. That is what they're hungry.
Okay.
And I would like to add to that because you touched on all the points. Not only are they hungry for all of that, but they're also hungry for who are they?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Where did I come from?
Yeah.
And when
But that
I
also comes to knowing your history, right?
Yes.
Which is what they're not getting.
and so where I began to evolve in my life within the last 5 years, I prior to the pandemic, I was in tourism. And prior to that, my son passed. So I would then prior to that, I was in case management, all of those different things with DCFS. And going into the history is when I recognized who I was,
Mm-hmm.
because I
See?
had to study the history, and then I began to realize I didn't know that.
Right.
And then I came from the family that back in the day they did not share stories.
Right.
So I didn't know where I came from within my household,
Mm-hmm.
which led me into where I'm at today, where I learned that it didn't begin with you.
Yeah.
It began with our ancestors, our
Right.
parents. We only know what was taught,
Mm-hmm.
and we were not taught that we could learn more.
Right.
In some cases, in some populations, we were not taught that. And so, once you know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
or well, should I say whose you are,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
then you have a better idea to understand yourself. You take that moment and you reflect and you say, oh, that's why I act like that. That's why I have a
Right.
moment,
Right.
and the perfect example of when losing my son, I was mad at the world,
Mm-hmm.
and so going back into the workplace, I knew how to do the job, skillful in what I was doing. But it was dealing with various different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
That was my triggers,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when I began to trigger is when I went deeper into like, why do I do that?
Mm-hmm.
So let me interject and say, when you have children that are brilliant and gifted, how do you protect that? And how do you grow that?
Yeah.
Right?
Family.
Family is good because without that foundation,
Yes,
if
you
they go
need
out here without
family
that foundation, they're
foundation.
going to fall
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to crumble. But with a stern foundation, they can fall and get up.
Yes.
Did you guys know that the Sears Tower was built to sway?
Yes.
So if the Sears Tower didn't sway, it would break.
Yes.
If the lamps poles in Chicago did not sway, they would break.
Exactly.
So we have to build them and help them to understand, yes, you will fail at some things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's okay to fail.
Yes.
But what's not okay is to stay at
To
the
stay-
failure
yes,
To
state.
stay in there.
You have to grasp on to what it is you feel. Now, you can feel a lot. So let me shift that to what it is you know is your true self.
Exactly.
And as you grow, and I think we've talked about that, as you grow, you get to learn different dimensions of who you are. And as you learn who you are, you learn who your children are, right? You get a better perspective. And when you see them and you know they have greatness and you refuse, I refuse to say, oh, I'm just going to accept you. No,
No.
So what you do is, I'm going to give a perfect little story. Laundry.
Okay.
My kids had to learn how to do laundry.
Oh,
So what I
mine
did
too.
was,
We went
I
to
would
the
take them
laundromat.
downstairs to the laundry room with me. Oh, it's fun time. How many people can put it in the white pile and the dark pile and in this pile?
At a race.
Oh, that's you doing good. Okay, now let's learn how to put the soap in the machine. And after they learned that, then one by one, I would come home. I told my oldest, hey, you got a laundry basket now. This is all your clothes going to laundry basket, and you do laundry on Monday. Huh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one.
Mine had chores too.
You got, yeah. What? So before I could just give them a laundry basket, I had to set it up and in layers, scaffold it to the point where they fully understood what the assignment. Now, when they went down there, did they always do it exactly how I said do it?
No.
No, they didn't always do
Playing
that.
basketball.
And, right, doing everything. But at the end of the day, when you leave my home, there are certain
They know what to
things
do.
you know what to do. You go, God bless me to have certain times with my children, like with Christian after cancer, he had to go to the grocery store with me, and I had to say, don't take the first thing off the shelf. No, take the second thing.
thing.
Move, get that. Don't get that. Do this. Do
Look at
that.
the
Right.
dates.
Really look at the dates. So I was able to do that with him before Jaquez moved out. Him and I had our time before Tanisha kind of left. When I think back, we all had our time, and so to be able to let them go. Not saying I wasn't nervous. Not saying sometimes I wasn't even scared.
Oh, of course.
But in my heart of hearts, I knew that they would be okay because of the crushing that took place in my own life,
Thank you.
the crushing that I saw taking place in their lives. And then sometimes I wanted to reach out and help the crushing to stop.
You have to hold back. You
Like
have
with a
to.
butterfly, if I pull open that cocoon before
Before
the
it's
butterfly don't fight and get his way out, he won't ever be able to
He will
flap
not
his
develop.
wings.
He will not develop.
I need them to fly.
Thank
You said 100, 1,000. I need my children to get out here and go for go for it.
Just go for it.
So when Kelly went off to college, so Kelly was the one that was my cross to bear. You told me that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, what do you mean by that?
That's my oldest.
But she was the one that hated everything about us.
Yo.
Hated everything.
Oh, gosh,
But
that's
I
so
tell
familiar.
people that she was raised during the Disney era, right? She was raised during that era where Disney kids would be on TV and they would wake up and say, Mom, I'm going outside. And the mother would pop up and say, okay, dear. And I was like that mother.
Different mom.
So she had an attitude
So
about
she
that.
was mad because I wouldn't just let her get up and leave out the house.
yeah.
And so, but what, I lost my train of thought. But when she went away to college, it was a blessing for me because I was like, listen here, little girl, you gonna get out of here before I choke you to death. Like I'm gonna be in jail and you gonna be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to be the one that leave the house.
It's
Like,
always the
I
oldest
said,
one.
let me send you to some place where you will get an education, where you can get a job, and where I know that you will come back with something.
That you can use.
Right.
Yeah.
She didn't stay the whole time. That's fine because we know today that it ain't for everybody. And that's fine. She came home. I'll never forget when she came home and she was like, Mom, why you didn't tell me stuff costs so much? She said,
Oh.
I didn't realize how much you did for me until
Yes.
myself.
I get that now. Yes. My kids tell me that now.
What what happened? She said she went to the laundromat with her boyfriend, and she was sitting there. He was like, "You look like you ain't never been to a laundromat before." She was like,
I didn't.
"I haven't." So yeah, so yeah, all of that. It's just, getting them to a point where you, like you said, you gotta let them fly and do their own thing. And sometimes you can't prepare them.
Nope.
No.
Sometimes it is one where you gotta say, you know what, you want to go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Trust me.
Go
I've
ahead.
said that
I
many
remember
days.
Kelly told me when she was 15, "Ma, let me bump my own hair." I said, "How much is that gonna cost me?"
Right. Because I'm the one that got to pick it up. I'm the one that got to
Because
do all
you go
the
out there,
fixing.
bump your head and do something it's going to cost me.
Cost
They're
me.
going to crush
Yes.
right? That
Another
crush
crush.
me.
Yes.
Because now I need to learn when to back off.
Yeah.
Now I need to learn when to say, you know what? I have trained you up in the way that you should go, and I know you won't depart from it.
Exactly.
Biblical, right? I tell
Yes.
people that's biblical.
Yes. Yes.
So I just had to learn how to say, some of them will allow you to let you get them to a point where you can
Let them go.
let them go.
But some of them be like
Some of
busting
them
out
be
the,
like,
let me
busting
go. I
out,
need
let
to
me
go
go. They
now.
is bursting from the scene. So
Yes.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bust. Go ahead. You feel like
That's
busting?
it.
Yes.
Bust your
Bust
head
it.
down to the white meat.
Go ahead, because you ain't going to learn that fat meat is greasy,
Greasy.
until it's greasy.
Right. You got some that
You
listen.
Slide into it.
Right. Some that
Only
listen
for that, Go
halfway.
ahead and do what you going to do.
Some that's going to
Right.
combat
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Some that's going to debate you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then,
Oh,
like,
you wanna
Michael told me everything, right? Michael was like, yeah, I ain't going
What is
nowhere.
the difference?
never,
Okay,
ever.
now that's might be a different conversation. What is the difference between the boys and the girls? My son would tell me everything. I mean, everything.
I don't-
His
I-
first
Yeah,
time
right,
and all
right.
of that. I
All
was
the
like,
stuff
"Do I
you don't
really have
want to
to
know.
hear that?"
I don't-
And here I
The
go.
girls is
Did
sneaky.
you tell your daddy that? Then you talk to him about that?
Yeah.
But see, my last baby, she told me everything too. She was like, "Mom, just gonna tell you I got high."
Yeah, that sounds like Lucia. But the youngest, my youngest.
I got high.
Right, Mom, just gonna tell
Mama,
you.
you don't want to know.
Right, but she'll tell me everything. But she told me at the learnings of looking at how I struggled with Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Michael too, because Michael told me everything, but I think his fear was that he was afraid to go. Right? And he
Mhm.
went through so much stuff, and I think he was just afraid.
Males has a different challenge, and because society says you're strong, don't cry. I always told my son, you better cry, because I don't know if you heard it. I need to know that if you heard
Yeah.
it, because I don't know how to fix it or at least give you the resources you need.
Right.
If you don't know, and so the streets, the peer pressure. I can recall sometime my son in his freshman year came home. We was able to laugh about it afterwards, but for him to face me, he ran home and he had this look, and I'm like, he scared the hell out of me. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He was like, had to run from the bus stop. They was after me. I said, who? He like, these guys, they was after me. They was trying to get me in a gang and stuff. And it's like, oh, hell. That, I didn't say it to him, but in my head it was, oh, hell, God, how do I support that and navigate that? And that is very challenging, because you don't, and then he, and I am that type of mom. I don't know if it's because I'm from the military, but I am that type of mom. I will face you.
Right.
Okay, I don't care who you are when you mess with my children. And so
And
he was feeling like, I don't want my mom coming to my rescue. Well,
Man, let me
your
pull
father
up
is
somebody
passed, and we don't have
on my
family.
kids.
Who else is gonna be?
Let me.
So I'm gonna have to come up there and let it be told.
Pull up.
When I had, my husband, some days he wasn't there, and I
Yes.
had to be the one
I
to
had
face.
to be the one to face it. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
man,
I faced gangs
Man,
before.
let
faced
me
I did not
pull
back
up on
down.
somebody
I'm not gonna
doing
back
something to
down.
one of my
Right.
kids. I'm finna
You
set
said.
it.
I'm gonna set it
off.
off.
It's
I
going
never
down.
had my
I'ma
kid
say it
running home in the same situation. Mom, they done just robbed me. I said, who it was? Let me-
Thank you. Let's
I
go.
grabbed my
There
kid.
you
Let's
go.
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 I came to
We
myself
got
after
we gotta get up
all
out
this,
of here.
right? 'Cause
We
I
gotta
don't
go
wanna hurt
find who
nobody
you
else's
are.
kids. I don't want to hurt nobody else's kids.
No, but
look
you're not
out
gonna
for
hurt
my
mine.
kids.
You're not gonna hurt mine.
Right.
You're not.
So let me ask you ladies this, winding it up.
Okay.
When did you first see your child's greatness?
I'm gonna say when. See, instead of seeing it when they said it, I'm gonna say that
When they began to believe
When they
their own
began-
greatness.
they finally was able to look me in my eyes and ask the question, "Mama, how in the hell did you do it?"
That's good.
I see what you're saying now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand why you was giving me advice and I didn't want to hear because you was trying not to get me to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I went there, you made me sit in my mess
And
learn from my mess. And now that I know, now I'm going to take that lesson and I'm going to bring it to mine. So
Right.
that's when
And navigate
that's
your
when
way
I know.
through it.
Yeah, I'm a more of a person. I need to see and hear what you're saying
That's good.
to see the truth.
That's good, Beatrice.
Because mouth can say anything.
Yeah, yeah. So when did you?
So, they're three different people,
Mm.
right? I'm gonna start from the youngest. So for Claire, it was when she quit her job. She was like, "Ma, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm doing this." And then she was adamant about not asking for help.
Mm.
Yes.
She was adamant, but it was also realizing that when I told y'all earlier that she was raised by the village, she was raised by the village. So I saw I saw I saw her grannies, I saw my husband, I saw all the friends that I had supporting her. So when I was able to see those people in her, when she was like, "I'm just gonna quit my job," and quit her job and got her own place and her own car.
That's what I'm
She's
talking about.
INDE. You spell the rest of it.
Independent.
Okay.
I'll just say it. Independent.
Okay, she is independent. So that's for Michael. So Michael was a little bit different. So, and I have maybe a softer spot for him.
Mm.
But Michael he struggled with anxiety, severe anxiety and depression, and we didn't know it. But what I did know about him, he was super smart. So whenever he would come around people, he would light up the room.
Yes.
Like he can talk to you about anything. When the boy was in 6th grade, he wrote a whole dissertation about neuroscience. And I was like, "Why did you do that?" He said, "I don't know. I just wanted to learn about the brain, so I wrote about it."
Mm.
So it was little bits and pieces, glimmers of, like, how when you walking down a beach and you see the glimmer of glass in the sand. That's how it was for Michael, right?
Okay.
To be able to see that this boy can talk to anybody about anything. The other day, so right now he's in a program, a technology program, and I went into the program with him, and I turned my back and I turned around. He had lined up everybody in the room to meet me.
Whoa.
And I was like, "What you doing?" He was like, I want them to meet you." And so they came and they greeted me with so much admiration and adoration. I was like, what have you been saying to these people? But on the opposite end, they've been saying the same thing that he was saying about me, about him.
Mm.
Right? So he's such a great guy. He's amazing. Michael is such an inspiration. I'm like, I know all these things. I just want him to know it about him. For Kelly, Kelly is a beast. I tell people that she is my quiet storm. Right. Mm-hmm. So when I saw her greatness, it was when she left home. And she just went on and did her thing about her thing. And now she's in school to be a teacher, And when her son came to me and he was like, "I was on green today." And I said, "You was on green?" I said, "Well, what's your teacher name?" "Miss Kelly." And she gave me a whooping. I said, "Kelly is a beast."
Doing her job.
Right. I said, so it was at different moments in their life, and it, not even big things. It wasn't like you saw the
light come on. Right.
Yeah.
See that? It was a little glimmer.
Little glimmers. You're straight.
Thank you, ladies, for that. That is so cool because you think about it. I think about the greatness of my 3 children, and I think about the oldest. When she was little and I would tell her, "Go get a pamper," she could go in the closet and get a pamper. Mm-hmm. When we would be on the bus, this is Questron, this is beyond some of y'all's age. We would be on the bus and I would make her read the signs on the bus. Mm-hmm. Every day we would read the same sign over and over to the point where I didn't have to tell her what it said. Too. She, she was able to read it.
Learn the bus.
She got in school in 8th grade. Right. Yeah. Got in school, got in 8th grade and took the ACTs because she was killing the Iowa test scores. She got like a 14, 15 in 8th grade. Don't know, but I know that's so old.
No, that's
so
really
right.
So then
she went to Whitney Young.
Y'all know what Iowa test is?
Right, they don't know. So
is that an hour?
Right. So she went to Whitney Young, was bored at Whitney Young, didn't find out Whitney Young was, it was failing every year. had to go to summer school. And I said, what you gonna do? She said, I bet I graduate on time. I said, you will. She graduated on time. She's always been that I can, I will, don't tell me what I can do. Then I think about my son Jaquez and his struggles in education when he was a little boy, and then in 4th grade, and now this man is an assistant principal and in a doc program out there, right, you know, being all he can be. And then I got the baby boy who from the time he was, read me this story. No, read it like that. No, the lion don't sound like that. The lion sounds like this. Sit here. He's very declarative. He was very, this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. What? I don't care. You ain't got to like me. That's just me.
That's me.
Right? So each one of them, I knew that they would be okay because they had a confidence that I didn't get until in my 30s and 40s.
Yes,
So
I
they
love it.
walked in such a confidence that blew my mind. And maybe I thought that they were more confident than they own self felt. But I fed that confidence.
Yes.
So they like our roaring lions out here, like roar, like what?
Yeah.
And I tell them, I did this, I got the doctor degree. I said, you want to come forward.
Thank you. Pass me.
I told
Come
my kids,
forward.
I set them all at the table. I was like, I am the
The
shit.
No,
that's not it. I'm sorry.
I'm the beehive.
said,
I'm the
I
beehive.
am that woman.
You don't want none.
I said,
You know, I go right
level
there.
up.
Level up. You
I
gotta
said,
be
level
yes.
up. My
Yes.
daughter came back to me. She said, Ma, you hurt my feelings a little bit. I said, good.
Good.
What you gonna do about it?
I
Thank
said,
you.
now level up.
Level up.
Meditate.
And then she went
Meditate on it.
She went to
Thank
school. But when I wanted them to go, they
Level
didn't
up.
go.
No.
But now that they realize
Oh, they
school
hungry.
ain't for everybody,
No,
I
it's not.
want them hungry. I
Yeah.
want you
Hungry
starving
for something.
Yeah.
out
Hungry
here
for something.
going and killing your prey.
Yes.
Get what you need,
Yes.
how you
Yes.
need it. I got you.
Yes.
If you're going
If
forward,
you're going forward.
go
If
forward.
you're just sitting there looking at me.
It ain't gonna work. No, you ain't gonna look at me.
No, you're
Right?
not gonna be sitting by
So
me.
you're not going. So moving forward, then
You better, if I'm at the back of the room, you better be
be at the front.
Thank you.
That's
That.
it.
So, as we close up, I want to thank you, ladies, so much for joining me in Kitchen Table Conversations.
Thank you
This has
for
been a
inviting me.
bomb. As always, like we sitting in the back,
Oh.
chilling, you know.
I didn't know what I was going to bring to this conversation,
Me
but I'm
either.
glad I was able to.
No idea what I
Well,
was
good.
gonna
I
bring.
didn't know what y'all weren't supposed to know.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Y'all weren't
I
supposed
didn't
to
know. I was
know.
like, my kids is crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but it was.
I was like, mine is grown and gone. I'm so busy enjoying me. I was like, okay, I gotta bring it in.
Conversation.
So what I want to say to you guys that are watching here on YouTube and in other platforms, like, share, leave a comment. You leave a comment with your email address. I will make sure to send you a journal that will go along with our topic for today. And you could possibly get into something we're going to be doing later, a fundraiser and a giveaway that you could possibly be a part of. So share. The more shares, the more maybe opportunities that'll get you into this.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Oh, that's right.
Subscribe.
I'm new to this. So subscribe.
YouTube.
Subscribe to the YouTube
Follow all
channel.
the social media.
All of the social. Thank you, Miss Media. Help me. Help me.
on.
Yep. So thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something good out of this.
Can I just
Share it.
One little thing, just so remind me. what
Okay, you
everybody
know
need to
you
do.
can't.
Just a
Okay,
second.
okay. 5 minutes. 5.
Bend
4,
without
3.
breaking. Learn to bend without breaking. I told you.
Bend without breaking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm finna get off camera before I say anything to that.
Okay.
So,
You are supposed to
thank
do
y'all.
that.
Go back. There you go, Miss B. Do your thing.
We ain't got no music.
It's gonna play. It's gonna play for that, so you gotta listen.
Oh, I can't.
It's all the way up.